Sometimes even the best intended plans have consequences. Thought it'd be a good idea to get a nice stretch before I sat down and started talking about coffee and get my day started. And the thoughts that I had or didn't have. Good morning, Maria, at this early hour on this Sunday morning. So I'm doing my stretch, really leaning to the side, raising up my arm. Smack. Light fixture that's not often used. Maybe I should take that bad boy down. It's one of these chandeliers that's supposed to be over a table. This is kind of a breakfast nook behind me. You can see a little alcove with glass. Thank you. Somebody said, love your work. I appreciate that, Luke. But good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Sunday morning. It is April 14th. It is about 5:58 a.m. Happy Sunday. This little show, sorry, my dog's behind me and was looking for some attention, and we have hardwood in here, and her nails click, clack, click, clack, 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 clack on the hardwood. And I find it somewhat distracting sometimes. But anyway, this is a show I've been doing for quite some time. It is a show about me talking and kind of getting my day started and sharing some feelings and sharing some thoughts. Some days I have a whole lot of thoughts. I'm filled with an active mind. Other days like this, don't have a whole lot going on, but in the 6 inches between the ears, woke up about 15 minutes ago and I just felt so comfortable laying in bed. She's drinking up some water. Let's see where she goes. Let's see if I can get her into the sunroom. I'll be back in a minute. Come on. I'm back. Sorry for the distraction and sorry for leaving the camera. Should never probably leave the camera in a live video, but you do what you gotta do. What do you start my day? I do not understand that question, but I do appreciate the question. But anyway, let me take a swig of water. How do I start my day with gratitude? I was especially grateful this morning, waking up and not knowing what day it was or where I was, and so comfy, cozy under the blankies, and feeling so relaxed and so peaceful. There was a lot to be grateful for. And honestly, I'm usually grateful for getting up and doing my Coffee with Ken show. But this morning I was going, it's really comfortable right here. I wonder if I can get more sleep. And it's funny, I sleep, like today I slept in. And it was 5:34 when I first looked at the clock. And that's not really sleeping in on a Sunday. But what you can get used to, and, again, when you don't drink any alcohol anymore, you end up not staying up super late most nights. And last night I fell asleep real early. I had grand plans of watching a movie or a documentary or something interesting, and just felt so comfortable laying in bed. None of that seemed as fun as just kind of shutting my eyes and popping on some real melodic, relaxing, almost hypnotic music and drifting off into deep, deep sleep. So that's what I did. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, it's not just a show about me talking about my sleep, although I do have a couple more comments about my sleep. I'm sure you'll be very excited to hear them. For those that have been watching a while, it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. And I am excited to have my first sip at this early hour on a Sunday morning. My hope is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, that you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. It's the Dunkin' Donuts French vanilla. It's nice. I like to mix it up. I go back and forth. We have a huge bag of French vanilla, and we got a fresh bag of Starbucks Sumatra. Kind of two ends of the spectrum. One is kind of light and flavorful and almost a dessert-like coffee. And one's really a man's coffee, the Sumatra with the dark roast. A lot of flavor. You almost get grit in your teeth if you take a big sip of the Starbucks Sumatra. Good morning to you and God bless you. But anyway, it's Sunday morning. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are feeling well. I'm over on Instagram today. I kind of been bouncing back and forth, feeling like I was holding hands with an old girlfriend while dating a new girlfriend here on Instagram. I started doing this show with a lot of purpose about 2.5 years ago, but the show started about 5 years ago originally. It was a show about a guy needing to talk, and for some reason had done it on a social media platform live on Saturday mornings, and kind of grew into what Coffee with Ken is today. And we're still not sure what Coffee with Ken is today. Hold on, but we know we need some more coffee. It's got my Coffee with Ken logo on it. But anyway, about 2.5 years ago, I started doing it most days over on TikTok. And it was excited to bring my show to a new audience. And took me a while, but I put a ton of work into it. It took me about 2.5 years, and I finally hit 10,000 followers on that platform about a month back. And at that time, you achieve an ability to monetize your content. If you get a certain number of views and a certain length video, they start paying you for it. And they paid me for like 2 days. And then all of a sudden, my content got shut off. And I got lonely. And all my videos went from like 50 likes a video down to like 1 or 2 likes, if I was lucky. And at the same time, my account on Instagram started doing real well, and has been growing quickly. And I started taking Instagram out for a ride now and again. And here I am on Instagram a month later, and hoping to get a little more committed to it, as I think it seems like a more positive platform for me that gives me an ability to get whatever message I have. And I think that it's a message of hope. I think it's a message of kind of mental health awareness and anxiety awareness and sobriety awareness, and just a message of hope. Because again, I'm a 55-year-old guy that's been through a lot. I mean, we've all been through a lot, I'm sure. And but I I feel I've been through a lot. And I think God gifted me with the ability to tell a story that seems to connect with an audience. And so here I am, drinking some coffee, telling a story, even if it's a story about not so much today. Kind of funny. I was a realtor for 17 years, and I posted some videos. I left the business 1.5 years ago, and I haven't looked back. Haven't missed it at all. Didn't like telling people I'd meet about my day that I was a realtor. I always felt they immediately, I don't know, kind of put up a barrier. And I don't like barriers. I like giving people hugs and looking them in the eyes and smiling and chatting and being uber friendly, because that's who I am. But I don't know. I thought that would work well with real estate, but I don't know. It felt kind of left me in a point of conflict, if you will, and just didn't like it. So 1.5 years ago, and it was fortunate timing because the real estate market has changed a lot in the last 1.5 years since I left. What was I saying? But anyway, I posted a couple videos the other day about my experience, and they're getting a lot of traction here on Instagram. And I got a lot of realtors saying, well, you just didn't like lead generation. And which is really what you do, which is about 90% of that business. I think a lot of people think you're out there showing homes every day. But what you're doing is, they call it lead gen. And it's cold calling or reaching out or doing whatever you have to do to find new people to offer your services to. And it's so much of the business, honestly, in my opinion, because there's too many darn realtors out there. You had to work so hard for each customer, but each customer offered such a huge potential payoff in a commission. But you didn't know if the person you were meeting was going to move in a week or a month or 6 months or 10 years. And you'd get their contact information, and you'd follow up, and you'd offer them whatever services you offered, and you'd give them information, and you'd be friendly. And a lot of people would send out very valuable things like recipe postcards and the like. But either way, I don't think my issue was just the lead gen. I had a couple dreams this morning. I don't want to call them nightmares, but they were about showing homes. They were about showing homes. And I know a lot of us have dreams about school, going to school naked, or a lot of people have recurring dreams about various things that were traumatic in their life. But I had a couple dreams about showing homes. And in one of the dreams, the family was still there. And we were maybe early, or they didn't know we were scheduled, and I had to say, "Hey, would you mind leaving so we can show the home now?" And they didn't, but the home was all cluttered with stuff that looked fragile and we might break, and was a very uninteresting home. And as we were leaving, the woman I was with, we didn't want to look at the home at all, but the woman I was with, my client, said, "Well, we might as well go look at the bedrooms." And it's kind of funny because you show a lot of homes. I mean, not as many as most think, but you're obviously showing a fair amount of homes. You're in a lot of homes as a realtor. And if they'd ruled out a house, the client had ruled out a house, and usually they knew if they liked the home the moment they walked in the door. And there was a feeling we'd get, like a smell and a cool, crisp air on a summer day, or hey, this feels right the moment we walked into the door. And that was a really good feeling, and it didn't happen too often. On the other hand, you'd often get a feeling that this house isn't going to work for my client, or this isn't the one, or what have you. And some clients were very efficient and would keep the tour moving. And I always said, "Hey, if you don't have to spend any length of time in this house if you don't want to. If you don't like it, it's not going to offend me if we leave." But some always wanted to kick the tires anyway. And in my dream, a woman wanted to go check out the bedrooms just because we were here. And that's about where my dream ended. But my point is, it feels so good to not do that anymore. And maybe I just wasn't good at it. And maybe I'm not a good salesman. Maybe I'm not a good salesman at all. And that's okay. I think my brothers were more natural salesmen, and I'm pretty good at talking, and I'm friendly, and people kind of generally warm up to me. So I thought I should be a good salesman too. And unfortunately, I spent 27 years of my career being a salesman. Been looking for a job a little bit as well to, I don't know, let's say round out the checkbook for my content creation. And I'm on Indeed, which is a job search site, which I'm a little skeptical of, honestly. I think if I can't walk into a business or an office or meet somebody and shake somebody's hand and look them in the eye, I don't have much of a chance of getting a job by emailing in a resume and a cover letter and filling out an application. And maybe that's just negative self-talk, or maybe it's because my resume might not stack up to some others, because again, I spent 27 years doing pretty well, but not great at two careers that I don't want to do anymore. And maybe, like I was saying at the beginning, sales isn't for me, and it's not what I was meant to do. And I maybe should stop looking at sales jobs, because Indeed is proactive about their job search, and they'll mail you jobs and say, "Hey, we saw your resume and see all your management and sales experience," or what have you. And I look at it, and I go, do I really want to sell siding for Naperville Siding? That's a made up company, but those are the type of messages I get with unlimited upside potential in earnings or what have you. And it doesn't excite me. And the one job I've actually been kind of excited for a little bit and thinking about was totally different than that. Totally different. And was working outside and being in nature and hopefully helping people and kind of multitasking. And but as life would have it, the pay's not very good. And I haven't been offered the job, but I think I probably will, and I'm kind of considering it because it's a full-time job, and it's hard taking a full-time job when the pay's not very good. And imagining being away from my kids, and I don't know. So, some thoughts I have going on. Let's drink a little more coffee. But it's Sunday morning. I had 3/4 of a pot of French vanilla coffee over there. Got the rest of the house quiet. There's 5 kids, a dog, 2 cats. Whole lot of chaos waiting to happen in this house. But on Sundays, the chaos kind of comes at us piecemeal, one child at a time. But when my 2 babies wake up, and they'll be waking up in the next 45 minutes or so, my quiet time's over, and going to spend the day chasing around my little babies, probably checking in on my phone app occasionally to see how the Masters is going, because I don't think we have golf coverage. The Masters is on. When I used to drink and smoke pot every day, I watched the Masters every year for, I don't know, 25 years at least straight. And it was a big day, and we used to have a party on Sunday and play golf in the morning and have a bunch of people over to celebrate and overindulge and watch the Masters on Sunday. And it was such a big thing for me. And yesterday I was kind of out in downtown Naperville, kind of bar hopping, if you will. It's funny to bar hop when you're a guy that doesn't even drink alcohol. But I'm okay with it. And again, I think a lot of people would be tempted to drink, but I just chose not to drink 2.5 years ago. So the temptation is over. And when I see cocktails being served to the people next to me, because the bartenders in a bar downtown Naperville was bringing these 2 fancy cocktails, I was thinking, yuck. And wow, I bet those are expensive. And neither yuck nor expensive is tempting to me. Who do you think wins the Masters? Scotty Scheffler? He's the number 1 player in the world, and he got to be the number 1 player. And again, I haven't watched much sports lately, but I keep a distant eye on golf and sports. And he became the number 1 player in the world like 2 years ago. And I don't love his swing, and the way he looks is very average Joe, which you could love or hate. Apparently he's pretty good, but I don't think I've ever cheered for Scotty Scheffler in my life. Nothing personal. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Don't know his backstory, and he might have a great backstory. So, no offense out there if you're a big fan of my show, Scotty. By the way, good luck today in the Masters. You should be sleeping and not up early on social media watching Coffee with Ken. But if it's cool if you do. But anyway, who am I cheering for? I think I always like Xander Schauffele. I heard an interview with him a couple of years back, and he seems like a real nice guy, and I don't think he's won a major yet. Morikawa's really a nice guy, but he's already won 2 or 3 majors. And I don't know. I mean, he's a good golfer, but I don't know. Who I'm cheering for is Tiger Woods. He shot a 10 over yesterday, so he's going to have to go really low to win today. Really, really low. Pass up the whole field. But I always cheer for him. I think, what's his name? DeChambeau has an interesting golf swing. So I kind of like cheering for him. And I don't know, a couple other players, but I may or may not watch it. We don't have cable here. So unless there's a way to get it through streaming services through one of our channels, I'm probably not going to watch it. And I mean, that'll be okay. I'd like to watch it, but again, I got two little babies. They'd rather have Sesame Street on TV or Miss Rachel. And maybe I can give Augie my phone. He's the big one. And if he has the phone, he'll come up to me and go, ba, 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 ba. And when he says, ba, 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 that's him wanting to watch Cookie Monster on the phone. And if he goes, that's Oscar the Grouch. Because Oscar the Grouch cheers. And he'll go, and that's doing the count. I don't know if anyone out there watches Sesame Street. And he's my little nugget of love, and it's going to be 3 years old at the end of the month. And he's beautiful, and his little sister's beautiful. Somebody's saying I can watch it on the Masters app. I might give it a try. I appreciate that. But then I'll have to convince my kids to be watching the TV and not watching the phone. Maybe I can get them to watch the Masters app with me. The three of us. They'll be sitting on my lap. Super dad that I am, with my phone propped up on my knees going, hey kids, this is golf. It's a big tournament. It's got a lot of history. We're cheering for Tiger Woods, but we don't think he's going to be able to make a comeback today because he shot plus 10 yesterday. Dada, what's plus 10? It's a long story. Shh, now be quiet now. It's time to watch a little more golf. So let's have a little more coffee. But it's Sunday morning, and again, I probably have another half hour or 40 minutes, if I'm lucky, of quiet in our house. And I'm looking forward to refilling my coffee and going to sit in the living room and watch the sunrise and sip some coffee and maybe edit a couple of videos and post a couple more videos today, because I really enjoy doing this, and I think this matters. And I don't think the sales careers I'd had in the past really mattered. But I think this does, and this feels good, and this is something I'm passionate about and enjoy doing, and like I said, hopefully matters. So I want to thank you for watching on this Sunday. I hope you're having a great, great weekend. I hope you had a great night's sleep and free of any real estate nightmares like I had last night. Although they weren't exactly nightmares. They were slightly off-putting, though. But again, I hope you're having a great, great weekend, and you're feeling good, and you got a great night's sleep, and you wake up today with a little bit of hope. If I could make a recommendation for you, and I'm not going to live up to it, but I might as well spread my suggestion. I enjoy going to church on Sunday mornings a whole heck of a lot. But our life changes have happened, and I can't be in two places at once, so can't make it to church on Sunday mornings right now, and I'm hoping to change that. But even if you're not a believer, or even if you don't read the Bible, because I understand everyone has doubts and questions, no matter how faithful you are, it's a nice place to be, and it's a nice place to start your Sunday, and there's a lot of people, and most people are smiling and happy to be there, and trying to improve themselves. And if you can put yourself in a group of people showing gratitude and trying to improve yourself on a Sunday morning, it's probably a good place to be. And I'm looking forward to making that more of a regular schedule in my week soon. And until then, I'll just kind of remember and reflect back and show gratitude from home or on a walk, because you can show gratitude anywhere, and you can be grateful anywhere, and you can say a little prayer anywhere. But honestly, I just like the vibe on Melgo67 says, watch the Yellow Books app on the app we do. Melgo, I appreciate that suggestion, because I do go to the Yellow Box church here in Naperville. But I like, the message is good, and I love the new pastor they have. But I like the people and the smiles and saying good morning and the handshakes and dropping off Augie off at the daycare. So I don't think I can get that through the app or the feeling. It's a good idea. Uh, but again, I would miss the people, and I really enjoy the people, and that's what I honestly, just a nice, loving, caring, grateful vibe that you get on a Sunday morning from hanging out with people that look you in the eye and smile and say good morning to you. It's a nice start to my day, and yeah. So anyway, want to thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Again, I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're loving yourself. Hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.